Who benefits from the border crisis in Del Rio? Well, the Haitians benefit. Why? They get to skirt the law. They get to practice a kind of deceit in which they pretend to be refugees, even though they have been, for the most part, for months, if not years, settled in countries like Chile, like Brazil. So they benefit. They now claim their share of the American dream, having jumped ahead of everybody else waiting in the long line. The Biden administration presumably benefits politically. Why? Because it earns the gratitude of all these people. Listen, we've given you special treatment. We've allowed you into America. Who's done this? We've done this. You need to be eternally grateful to us. And long term, the Biden administration, I think, sees this kind of demographic shift in which the country is flooded with illegals as being politically beneficial. More votes for the Democratic Party. I think this is what they care about. They don't care about the Haitians. They're looking to the political gains that might come out of this. But is there another party that benefits? I didn't really think about this until I read an article by this guy, Josh Trevino, who's at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. The article is in American Mind. And here's a guy who goes down to the border, and he's standing at the border. Now, he's not standing at the border in Del Rio. He's standing actually at the border crossing from Mexico, where the Mexicans are coming across. And he's noticing this train of cars and trucks and migrants coming over. And he's standing on what is sometimes called Border Hill. It's called Border Hill because it's a kind of a high point where you can really get a panoramic view of what's coming toward the border from the other side. And he says the one thing missing on Border Hill are Border Patrol agents. There's no one from our side, no officials who are monitoring the situation. And so all those people heading our way are confident that they're going to be able to get across. And this causes him to raise an interesting question. Of course, the Border Patrol has been dealing with the processing of the Haitians in Del Rio. Governor Abbott in Texas dispatched Texas National Guard. And so there's plenty of agents now in Del Rio. And the Del Rio situation has been kind of cleared up, but kind of at the expense of the longer border. And this is, I think, Joshua Trevino's point, is that while everyone is focused on Haiti, oh, the Haitians are coming across in this one point, Del Rio, what you have is essentially an open border at many other points. And so the question being raised by Josh Trevino is, could it be that one of the other beneficiaries unnoticed are the Mexicans, the cartels, the traffickers, or the criminals, all the people who want to come over and have had to face at least some blockage, some processing. But now that the processes are all diverted to Del Rio, hey, this is a great time to skip over and make our way into the interior of the country where we never may be heard from again. Josh Trevino talks to ranchers and people who are seeing this going on. They're absolutely disgusted. They will scream things like, listen, get off my property. If you come back, I'll kill you, and so on. But this is nothing more than an expression of helplessness. Helplessness, why? Because these are Americans who own property down there who have been let down. Let down not by the Haitians, let down not by the Mexicans, not even let down by the cartels, because the cartels don't owe them anything. But they've really been let down by their own country. They've been let down by their own government. And so what's going on here is, and this is Josh Trevino's point, is he says that, you know, I can't be angry at these other people. I understand why the Haitians are doing it. They're being rational about it. I also understand why the cartels are doing it. They're being rational about it either. Also, and then he says, and here's the only part where I disagree with him, he goes, the only irrational actors in the system are us. Now, he's assuming that the Biden administration is irrational because it's looking out for the national interest. And by that criterion, yes, they are irrational. But what if they're not looking out for the national interest? What if they're looking out for their own partisan political interest? What if they want the remaking of America? What if they want to swamp the Republicans, particularly in close states where they have to fight for elections when they can otherwise engineer a demographic shift where they've got basically a built-in advantage? In that case, the Biden administration is no less rational, which is to say no less cynical than any of the others.